On the news tonight, Anambra State Governor Soludo begins intervention on failed Nobi Mpo Federal Route. Birthday celebration, Bishop Ama visits Newi Correctional Center. Stakeholders ask federal government to prioritize education. UAE officials deny lifting visa ban for Nigerians. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and glad to have you join us on the news tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enojoke. In a move that shows our commitment to the well-being of the citizens, Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has taken a decisive action to address the gully erosion on the Nobi axis of the Nobi Mpo Federal Highway. Recall that on September 5, 2023, Governor Soludo paid an on-the-spot assessment visit to the portion where he immediately promised to mobilize and commence intervention on the federal route. The Severed Road is a major route which connects the entire Onitsha and Idemili to Nobi, Nokwa, Newi, Agwata, and most of Anambra South and the country at large. A team of experts from the state's Ministry of Works, led by the Commissioner, Engineer Ifeanyi Okoma, quickly mobilized to assess the road's deplorable condition and came up with a comprehensive remedial plan to address it. The remedial measures taken by Governor Soludo's administration in response to the failed route will significantly improve accessibility, safety, and the overall driving experience for the people. Without the governor's timely intervention, the road which had been cut off will have continued to be a source of frustration and safety concerns. As a result of this leadership, commuters and road users will breathe a sigh of relief as they will begin to travel with ease and confidence on the reconstructed route. Indeed, the governor has set a positive example of what responsible governance looks like and demonstrated how leaders can use their positions to prioritize the needs of their people. Residents and traders at Ugwagba Obosi Idemili North local government area are full of praises, gratitude to Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the massive road work going on at various streets in the area. The roads, which are about 7.5 kilometers, include Rainbow Nell, Mbuka, Amanato, Amesi, and St. Peter's routes, have received their fair share of drainage construction and laterite compartments. Again, Emengini Osadibe has the details.
Speaking to the ABS, the chairman Ugwagba Landlord Association, Chief Chiemere Ndoka, highlighted on the untold hardship the residents were passing through, recounting series of self-help efforts of the residents of the area to ensure that their area is accessible and motorable before the intervention of Governor Chukwuma Soludo, which, according to him, has given the people a sense of belonging. Chief Ndoka, who thanked Governor Soludo for answering the distress call of Ugwagba people, prayed God to bless him.
Awarded up to 4 roads in my community today. So my people are manaton isi bo Nepa Bata from SZ Worker to Wele Road. You connect Amesi, Ibayembuka, Nuzo Kadilakali. So now I can no Romona Luna Ugwagba.
On his part, the patron Ugwagba Landlord Association Obosi Ichie Sir Noble and Rebunwa thanked Governor Soludo for the massive road construction work going on simultaneously in Ugwagba community, adding that no governor has ever remembered them this way.
So now, okay, when you're on Aka, come when come on, if I appreciate.
In their separate interviews, the Vice Chairman Ugwagba Landlord Association, Chief Emmanuel Uzechi, The works chairman of the community, Honorable Amechi Ebunono, and the financial secretary of the association, Dr. Lawrence Maachebe, regretted that Ugwagba community has been a gazetted layout by the government for the past 32 years without good roads, as no governor has ever visited them except Governor Chukwuma Soludo, which according to them resulted in constructing the roads. They maintained that work is going on smoothly on all the awarded roads, while commending the contractor handling the project for working according to specification and on steady pace.
If I know you go to Narusi Kabono, I make a John Archibald first on and with the kind of wisdom to Kunyalia, Ochesianya, second turn, Chukwalaki Melon we have.
Some of the market women at the area, which include Mrs. Chiwendo Egutuibo, Mrs. Catherine Nwigwe, and Mrs. Teresa Udalo, appreciated Governor Soludo for giving their roads facelift, while appreciating the chairman of the community, Chief Ndoka, who attracted government presence to their area and prayed God to bless him. The supervisor of the construction firm handling the project, Mr. Jimo Ibrahim, promised that if rain subsides, the work will be completed in the next 3 months, commending the cooperation and support of the residents of Ugwawa, Obosi, adding that the drainage channels of the roads are at 70% completion. From Ugwawa, Idemili North Local Government Area, Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
As part of activities marking the 50th birthday celebration of Obuaru Diocese Bishop, Right Reverend Prosper Ama, has visited the Nigerian Correctional Service Medium Security Custodian Center, Newi, to interact with the inmates. Staff reporter Emengino Sadebe, who covered the visit, reports that the bishop was accompanied to the facility by some clergy and parishioners of Obuaru Diocese. The details.
The visit, which afforded the inmates the opportunity to express their joy and feelings through testimonies, featured praises, worship, and prayers. Earlier in his sermon, Right Reverend Ama assured them that their destiny will not go unaccomplished, advising them to have a change of life and attitude by embracing Christ and the Word of God. The bishop, who made reference to biblical Joseph and how he was delivered from the prison, assured them that it does not matter how long they have been in prison, only for them to focus their attention towards their destiny. God must surely intervene on their behalf by sending them help.
Change your attitude. You see yourself, walk in the correct way. No way in the correct way can your dream can even do. My name is Pusugi. Even you also name President. Follow your to wherever he will not trap. I pray you will never be trapped again. Amen.
On his part, the assistant comptroller of the facility, Barrister Raymond Okonkwo, who was represented by the superintendent of the correctional center, Superintendent John Onwebuna, expressed gratitude to God and the bishop for the visit, describing the facility as a reformation center, but regretted that there will be no reformation without proper education. The assistant comptroller, who disclosed that some of the inmates are not properly educated, pointed out that some of them took their first school leaving certificate examination and WAEC this year, saying that they lack finance to sponsor them, as about 60 of them are due for the upcoming GCE examination, seeking for bishop's assistance.
Because now up on the now I may reformation. Proper education.
Speaking on behalf of the inmates, one of their provosts commended the bishop and his entourage for the visit, enumerating most of their challenges to include lack of water, health facility, clothing, and writing materials for teaching and learning, asking for financial assistance for them to participate in the upcoming GCE examination this year. Speaking to the ABS in an interview, the vicar in charge of St. Luke's Anglican Church, Okpuku, Venerable Ken Paul Emuka, commended the bishop for his initiative, described it as part of evangelism, and advised the youth to desist from bad habits that could mar their future, saying that evil does not pay.
The inmates here, they were so much happy. They were celebrating. We experienced a lot of joy in their midst. And I'm trusting God that what God has begun here, that God will accomplish it. So I am thanking my bishop in a special way. It's not easy because I know how much he spent here.
The high point of the visit was danced by the musical dance troupe of the inmates with the bishop and some of the parishioners.
Operatives of the Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra Ocha Brigade Task Force and Anambra Vigilante Service have arrested 3 pickpockets around Opeiwe Onitsha. Chukwemeka Okafor from Olu, Imo State is suspected to lead to 3-man gang. The gang was arrested while in the act. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike has the details.
Their mode of operation, according to the brigade, was to partner a driver and a conductor to deprive unsuspecting members of the public their hard-earned money. Speaking to the ABS, Mr. Okafor confessed to the crime and said that he learnt the business from subgroup of friends in Onitsha. He revealed that they make roughly 80,000 naira every day, and according to him, working with a driver and conductor is usually easy to intimidate or harass anyone who catches them in the act. He pleaded for mercy while advising residents to always be careful and mindful of anyone who would sit beside them, especially in Onitsha, as there could be many fraudulent activities going on in the buses without their knowledge.
Driver and conductor. So, but they be a we are as normal passenger. Eba mutu ebe na apiri to mani mama na eji na bapu but my number kan na yo amaka yesu grant embassy towards the MS.
Addressing the press shortly after the parade of over 34 suspects charged with different crimes and criminality, the public relations officer of Ocha Brigade, Mr. Anthony Abwefune, said the agency will make the state uninhabitable for all criminal elements. He said the officers observed that the suspects who were roving the said area in commercial bus looked suspicious and that they looked uneasy after driving past the officers. He revealed that the officers kept track of the suspects for a few minutes before double crossing their vehicle somewhere in the city. Mr. Abwefune urged Anambra to be vigilant and conscious of their environment at all times and ensure that suspicious movements are reported to the agency or to the nearest police station. The PRO promised that the suspects will be handed over to the police and charged to the courts for different count charges, including impersonation, touting, selling of hard drugs, defilement, illegal revenue collectors, among others.
The second set, again, are the ones harassing commuters and also travelers, disposing them of their luggage. Again, in one miniature type of a trick or the other, which they usually call one chance or the other, I don't know, there is no better thereof. So they were caught by the special design JTL, Joint Task Force. So orderliness is a responsibility to everybody.
In Oka, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
Still to come on the news, stakeholders asked federal government to prioritize education. UAE officials denied lifting visa ban for Nigerians. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead, and we shall be back after the break. Stay with us.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. That's why I give him Bornvita for everyday vitality that gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Bornvita, strength to dream.
There are certain moments in the day when I need my me time to just unwind and indulge.
Now available in 30 grams and 450 grams.
It is on.
Welcome back to the rest of the news. The education sector in Nigeria got 1.79 trillion naira for the sector, representing about 8.8% of the total 20.5 trillion of the country's 2023 budget. This amount, however, is still less than half of the percentage recommended by the Global Education Agency, UNESCO, for expenditure on the sector. Princess Ekwe Ajide has the details.
It is on this backdrop that the 2021-2022 Nigeria's Annual Education Conference (NAEC) at the end of its meeting in Abuja called on the federal government to give education a priority in its yearly budgetary allocation. The conference, in its efforts to achieve the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals in education in Nigeria, issued 10 recommendations which, among other things, sought equal access to quality education, ending the dichotomy between federal and state-owned tertiary institutions as regards payment of school fees, free basic and secondary schools, review of the curriculum, digital literacy, among others. Addressing the conference, the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, promised full implementation of the recommendations, noting that the conference would provide the template for the strategic roadmap that education will follow in the coming years. He hoped that all the discussions, observations, and recommendations of the conference will be effectively implemented and called for synergy amongst stakeholders to sustain the Nigerian education sector.
I believe that the goal of this conference has been achieved. I assure you that the outcome of the deliberation shall be forwarded to the Roadmap Committee for consideration and inclusion into the Nigerian education sector strategic plan. I sincerely look forward to the implementation of the outcome of this conference, as well as I plan to host the 2023 Nigerian Annual Education Conference.
The 10-paragraph communique read by the Deputy Director, Joint Consultative Committee on Education, Olayiwola Juwon, also touched other critical areas such as teacher education enhancement, availability of technical and strong institutional capacities, community engagement, and stakeholders' participation, among others.
Improvement in the conditions of service of meeting teachers and instructors in particular, and teachers in general, provisions of infrastructure and facilities, favorable tax policies on importation of equipment, that's for TVET. Public-private partnership should be strengthened, provision and proper management of funds, training and retraining of personnel.
The Director of Educational Planning, Research and Development, Adeleye Adoye, who stressed that the issue of free education has been in the front burner for ages, harped on the need to expand access to quality education. In Abuja, Princess Eukwi Ajide reporting.
The United Arab Emirates has contradicted claims by the Nigerian government that it is to lift a year-long visa ban on Nigerian travelers. An official from the Gulf said that there were no changes on the Nigeria-UAE travel status so far. The source asked not to be named because he is not authorized to speak to the media. The UAE said in a notice last October it will no longer issue visas to citizens from Nigeria and 19 other African nations. It did not provide further details. Flights between both countries were stopped last year after Dubai's Emirates Airlines suspended its operations in Nigeria, citing trapped revenues. The carrier said it could not access and repatriate its funds, amounting to $85 million withheld in Nigeria. Earlier this week, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu met with UAE leader Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi, where both men finalized a historic agreement, according to a statement released by the Nigerian government. The government said in the statement that the agreement paved the way for the lifting of the visa ban, including the immediate resumption of flights between both countries. Shooting Stars will take on the Southwest rivals, Sporting Lagos, in a friendly encounter on Sunday. The match is built for the Lakon Salami Stadium, Adamasingba, Ibadan. The encounter is to keep both teams in shape before the commencement of the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Both teams have recently participated in the ValueJet pre-season tournament in Ikenne. Shooting Stars will kickstart the new NPFL campaign at home against Plateau United, while Sporting Lagos will welcome Gombe United to Lagos. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service and subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka, Twitter at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now a recap of the main points before we go. Anambra State Governor Soludo has begun intervention on failed Nobi Mboa Federal Round. Birthday celebration, Bishop Ama has visited Newi Correctional Center. Stakeholders have asked the federal government to prioritize education, and on the foreign scene, UAE officials have denied lifting visa ban for Nigerians. And here is a special message before we go. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's it on the news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Good night.